Welcome to my channel, Crystal Grid Art. Today I would like to discuss with you what a crystal grid is, how to make a crystal grid, and also some of the reasons why people like to make crystal grids. A crystal grid is organizing and arranging your crystals in a way that intensifies your intention. An intention can be whatever it is that you want to honor or manifest in your life. Maybe you want to send healing to a sick loved one, or maybe you want to attract wealth into your life. A crystal grid is a way of expressing yourself and being creative with your crystals. Making crystal grids, or even just being around crystal energy, can reduce stress. It's similar to how art therapy or meditation can reduce stress. Making crystal grids is about being creative, slowing down and grounding as a ritual, spiritual practice. In my experience, it can also be a source of comfort. If there are situations or circumstances that seem beyond your control, making a crystal grid and setting a positive intention is a way of taking action. Each time you see the grid that you've made, it's a reminder of how you've put that focus towards a positive outcome. Energetically, when you create a crystal grid, it's like you're mixing flavors for a recipe. Each crystal is a living organism with a unique property and a unique personality. When you combine complementary personalities to work together with an intention, it is a strong healing modality. What crystals to use and how to arrange them is based on a person's individuality and intuition. Try and clear your mind and go with whatever you feel drawn to. It can be because of their color, texture, or size. The reason doesn't necessarily matter because the crystals you connect with choose you right back. There is no wrong choice and no crystal that is bad to go with. It's okay to have a totally different perspective and how you want to arrange them and what you're drawn to. It can be an interesting way to develop your own intuition and explore your personal creativity. Have fun with your own process and let it take you where your heart and spirit want to go. In my crystal grids that I photograph, I don't ever use a template. I open myself up to receive a message from my guides, and the grid works through me to create its own unique expression. But for this video, I'm going to demonstrate a couple of simple, basic grids that you can easily recreate in your personal space using any crystals you want. If you're just starting out, you might be interested in using a template. There are so many amazing templates to choose from when building a crystal grid. You can use a charging plate, like one of my stump crystal grids, to place your crystals on top of. You can purchase pieces of cloth that have symbols of sacred geometry printed on them to use as a template. This piece of sacred geometry is of Metatron's cube. You can place your crystals wherever you would like for a grid template. You can purchase plates that also have sacred geometry printed on them. This is a clear plastic plate that has the seed of life etched into it. You can also get sacred geometry that has been etched into wood. But I like this piece of clear plastic. It's a quick, simple, easy way to use a template to make a crystal grid. And also because it's clear, I can put an image or a bill or whatever my intention is for my grid. I can place something underneath this clear piece of plastic. In order to intensify and program this grid even more. It's one of my favorites to use for quick, easy grid making. consider an appropriate space to place your grid. I like to place my grid in my bedroom on my dresser. Some people like to place their grid in places that can't be seen by others. Like, for example, under your bed. I like to put my crystal grids in places where they can be seen and appreciated. Either way is okay to do. Just keep in mind that you want to put them in a place where it's not likely to be knocked over or damaged. When choosing your crystals, find a center crystal that stands out. Typically, I'll use one special crystal for the center of my grid. Oftentimes, it will be much larger in comparison, and therefore stand out from any of the other crystals in the grid. Then I'll use smaller crystals that are maybe cheaper in price, like tumbled crystals that I can purchase several of. You'll want to purchase several of the same kind of crystal to create a consistent pattern all the way around your grid. You can use odd or even numbers, but try to make it as consistent as you can. Feel free to get creative. Not all crystals match perfectly, so it may not be perfect, but that's okay. You can also use flowers, shells, sand, or stones from outside. For this seed of life grid, I chose this rose quartz sphere for the center. Sphere-shaped crystals tend to circulate energy out and around your space. I went with muted color crystals to create a soft, soothing energy. 6 pieces of light green calcite. I have 3 pieces of blue lace agate, just polished, and 3 pieces of this soft blue, natural colored Larimar. If I use this clear template grid, I usually place a photograph or an image underneath it. If I was going to do that with this specific crystal grid, because I used muted colored crystals, I would place a photo of someone who needs some soothing, loving energy sent their way, because that's the vibration I sense from this crystal grid. This cloth has a Metatron's cube printed on it, which is a sacred geometry symbol. I love this design, and I wanted to keep it pretty simple. So I chose this very sparkly, beautiful crystal called aragonite for the center of this grid. Aragonite is a grounding, comforting root chakra crystal. I chose 6 identically carved heart-shaped carnelian crystals to place around this grid, and 6 pieces of tumbled malachite that are very similar in size and shape. If a crystal has a point on it, that is where you are directing the energy. So, if I'm pointing the heart towards the center of this grid, I'm directing that energy to infuse and enhance the energy of the center crystal, which is this piece of aragonite. If I place the points facing out, then I am directing the energy of the aragonite and all the crystals outwards into and around my space. I'm choosing to point the hearts towards the center of my grid because I feel drawn to use this grid as a way to charge and enhance the energy of the aragonite crystal in the center. When you're done building your grid, you have the option of then activating your grid. My ritual is to burn white sage, and then meditate on my intention that I've set in the same room as my crystal grid. I've also seen people use a wand and point it towards the center crystal. They might recite a chant or a prayer of their intention. Feel free to explore methods that are right for you. Maybe some of the methods you choose to use are some of my suggestions, or maybe there's something completely different. It's a fun exploration of your unique self-expression. I hope that these suggestions find you and serve you and your crystals in your special journey together. Thank you for watching, and crystal blessings.